All right. We welcome you to a meeting of the Buchanan Community Schools Board of Education. Our regular meetings have been posted on our district website and our central office and in each district school building. Tonight's agenda has been posted on our website and emailed out to the Buchanan Community School Board of Education community subscription. Our school board members receive the agenda and all supporting documents for reports and action items several days prior to the scheduled meeting so that they can review information, prepare questions or comments, and are ready to participate fully in the discussion and votes that encompass the duties of their office. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purposes of conducting the school district's business. It is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for regular public participation during the meeting as indicated in an item agenda G. If you wish to make a presentation to the board, please fill out the Google form located on our district website before item G on the agenda. This form opens for comment at the beginning of the meeting and is turned off once we get through the public comment section. You may also call into the meeting to speak by calling 219-654-2529 with the PIN of 433-053-659. The board will announce when we are ready for public comment. Please unmute yourself at that time. Thank you for your support of Buchanan Community Schools. May we go ahead and have roll call.
Mr. Lee.
Here.
Miss Berry.
Here.
Mr. Carlson.
Here.
Miss Lesh here. Dr. Carlin.
Here.
Miss Ryder.
Present.
And Dr. Burnett.
Here. All right, moving on to the adoption of the agenda. May we have a motion, please?
I move the agenda for the board meeting of January 18th, 2021 be adopted as written.
Support.
Okay. Roll call.
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
Miss Berry.
Yes.
Mr. Carlson.
Yes.
Miss Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin.
Yes.
Miss Ryder.
Yes.
And Dr. Burnett.
Yes.
7 yeses. Motion is adopted.
Very good. Agenda item D. I can't talk right now. Recognition of visitors. We'd like to welcome you to our basically virtual meeting because of the COVID situation there. I'm not sure. I can't see anything as far as any special visitors out there. Mrs. Robinson, anything related to recognition of visitors?
We should have a visitor, Jessica Leanhouse. I know she's going to do a presentation on item F. Okay. I don't know if she's joined us yet.
She's in there.
Okay.
Very good. We welcome you all to our meeting this evening. All right, moving on to item E, Superintendent Department reports, and Mrs. Robinson.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your attendance at our meeting tonight. We do have our first item, which is our recognition of our staff appreciation. We will ask Kelly Lesh, our secretary, our board secretary, to go ahead and read through our list as she usually does.
I am, and I'm trying to find her main thing. Sorry. I had it pulled up and then it's not here. So hold on. I'll get it. Oh, and then I just went right past it. There's so many.
Aren't there? Yeah.
Yes, which is awesome. There it is. Okay. So this month, we had several Buck Staff Appreciation nominees. And our winner is Shannon Jeffries from the Buchanan Middle School. And I'll read what was submitted. And it said, Shannon was graciously volunteered to help supervise students when they arrive in the morning. Each day, a half hour before required to be on duty, she supervises the 6th grade students. I am so appreciative of her willingness to go above and beyond to not only help me and the operations of the building, but also to welcome students with a smile, bright and early to start their day on the right track. And then I will read through all the other nominations, and there was a bunch this month, which was awesome to read through all of them. Angel Whitstall from Buchanan Middle School teacher, Clarissa Loma, Ottawa teacher, Donna Southwell, Buchanan High School interventionist, Dottie Prince, Buchanan Middle School interventionist, Erica Amiel, Moccasin teacher, Gabe Miller, Buchanan High School teacher, Jean Brown, Buchanan High School CTE teacher, Joe Kemp, Buchanan Community School computer technician, Carrie Chase, Ottawa teacher, Laura Morris, Buchanan Community Schools payroll coordinator, Lindsay Miller, Buchanan Community Schools accounting specialist, BVA coordinator, Michelle Munyon, BCS administrative assistant, Michelle Trail, Moccasin Operations Utility Staff, Miranda Capron, Buchanan High School Interventionist, Sandra Staggs, Buchanan Middle School Teacher, and Stacy Dennison, Ottawa Principal. We would like to congratulate everybody on the nominations and Ms. Jeffries for being the January Buck Staff winner.
Awesome. Very good. Very good. All right, Ms. Robinson.
And item 3, we have our board updates. As usual, each building administrator submits to the board a monthly update outlining some of the highlights for the previous month. It could be vary from celebrating students, just like we have at our high school. One of our art students was recognized for her artwork. And I'm going to go back to Alina Coe, I believe that is her name. She is honored there. So it's just a variety of different things that our principals do report out on. And that is pretty much it that I have to say for those 4 reports. Okay.
Thank you very much. And let's see, moving on to agenda item F, presentations. Mr. Robinson, can you introduce Jessica Leanhouse?
Yep. So Jessica Leanhouse has a project that she would like to present to the board regarding a kindergarten bicycling program. I think this is a very good opportunity for our students. It is her project, her idea, her thought. And this project does require some fundraising, so she will be able to explain what this is and how it connects. Ms. Leanhouse?
Hello. My name is Jessica Leanhouse. I am the elementary PE teacher, and I recently came across this all kids bike program through networking. And I think it would be an awesome opportunity for the elementary that is trying to help or their mission, all kindergarten a bike. And so the program provides balance bikes to all students in kindergarten. So a class set as many kids as I have in my kindergarten class. And then the balance bikes convert to pedal bikes. Helmets are part of the 5-year report and for it's an 8-week program. And so I have applied for it already. And in doing so, the company then creates a crowdfunding website that we would share out to get funding for it. They page us. I'm sorry, it's getting dark. I'm in my car. It's my son's first basketball practice tonight. So I am here hoping to get approval to go ahead and do the crowdfunding. I know that needs approval. There is additional grants and that I would also like to apply for that I have found to help fund this program. This program is not yet started anywhere in Michigan. It's a national program all over, but there is not one school in Michigan that is doing it yet. So I think this would be awesome for Buchanan to begin this program.
Wow, thank you. Questions from board members? This is an exciting project there.
I just want to say that, Jessica, you are the grant go-getter. So always appreciate all your hard work finding alternative resources for our students. It sounds like a great program, and it's nice that we could maybe be one that is initiative in Michigan, the first one. So that's great. And thank you for always looking for other ways to support our students.
Yeah, very good. Will you get any administrators on the bikes? Like the roller skates and stuff like that?
I don't know if they're adult size, so that would be real interesting, but I could try.
Well, other questions from board members?
I just would like to say that this is just an incredible initiative, and I know the students will appreciate it. Thank you.
Jessica, what's your timeline? Like, when would you have them be hopefully starting this?
Well, as soon as I get approval, the crowdfunding platform is already created. It just hasn't been public, so I can't send it out donations or anything yet. But as soon as I have the go-ahead, I hope to go ahead and start with that. And then the company itself will do all the purchasing. So Buchanan has to do nothing with money handling or anything. It goes right into the platform. They purchase the equipment. So as soon as it's fully funded, the equipment's ordered. Cool. So I'm hoping by spring, maybe we would get there.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? Thank you, Jessica. That was an outstanding project, and we support 100%. So let's see if we can get it going. I'd like to see somebody on some bikes. So. Go ahead, Ms. Robinson.
Might I add this, Dr. Harvey Barnett? So we, in your approval section, I just want to make this a note. We will need you to do a verbal approval or make a motion. There is not an approval document in your agenda packet. So if we can get that on the books, we can get that added as well, so she can have approval tonight.
Okay. So if I'm
Jessica, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Dr. Burnett. Jessica, does the company, does the company supply the helmets and pads and everything as well? Did you mention that?
Yeah, so the program costs $5,000, and that's 22 bikes. Adjustable helmets. It is a conversion that the balance bikes into pedal bikes, 5-year support program, and curriculum and training for me.
Okay, I have a vested interest in this one because of a child of mine. So
does she not know how to ride yet? Because my son doesn't either.
She's gotten close a few times, but there's definitely been some crashing and burning, and she may or may not have literally run into a stop sign, like taking the verbal cue a little too literally. But I can neither confirm nor deny that actually happened. But so no, that's exciting.
So if I heard you right, Mrs. Robinson, we just need to say, kind of give a verbal yes then for tonight, since it's not listed within the.
Correct. So we need to make a motion for it and go through that process.
So why don't we go ahead and do that then, and make that verbal motion to accept.
You want me to do it, Harvey?
Yep, go right ahead.
Okay. The Buchanan Board of Education would like to make a motion to approve the All Kids Bike Initiative presented this evening to the Buchanan Board of Education.
Support.
And the crowdfunding efforts, I think that's what we really have to.
Right.
I can add that in there also into my motion. The All Kids Bike Initiative with crowdfunding acceptance. Is that fine?
Perfect.
Very good. You okay with that since you're seconding it?
Absolutely. That
Okay.
was, yep.
Is that fine?
Perfect.
Sorry, I didn't add it.
That's all right.
And got it.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. Roll call.
Mr. Lee,
Yes.
Miss Barry,
Yes.
Mr. Carlson,
Yes.
Miss Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin,
Absolutely, yes.
Miss Ryder,
Yes.
Dr. Burnett.
Yes.
7 yeses. Motion has been approved.
Very good. And
Have fun.
good luck, Jessica. You'll knock this out of the park like you usually do. So good luck
Yeah.
to you. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Mm-hmm. All right. Moving on. Boy, my eyes are going bad. Anyway, this is crazy. Going on to, I think it's department reports or executive team updates. Mrs. Robinson.
Yes, so we did establish that each month our executive team would give reports, and we will start tonight with Mr. Place, and then we'll go to Mrs. Laurie, and then we'll end with Mr. Curland.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
You'll have to forgive me. As the day has progressed, my voice has decided to vacate. I'll try to make this quick. You can listen to my sultry tones. There was some confusion when I did the board update in December. So I'm actually going to go back and recap just a couple of things from then, and then also talk about what happened in December for you. So one of the big things is the T-Mobile grant that we applied for, which is pretty exciting. This gives us access to discounted hotspots that we've been able to push out to students. Basically, we get the device for free, which is incredible, but there is a $15 a month charge to providing the internet to the students. And that's an unlimited amount of internet for families that need that. We're currently have over 40 families that are taking advantage of that, so that's great. We have enough Chromebook chargers situated out for everybody now for both in school and at home, and we were able to finagle some of the carts. Actually tore apart several of the older laptop carts that we had and iPad carts, and they've been completely retrofitted in-house to support Chromebooks. So we didn't have to buy any new equipment to support the almost 450 Chromebooks that we're waiting on, that will hopefully arrive here in the next few weeks. We were told December. That hasn't happened yet. Unfortunately, in the month of November, Lenovo halted repairs on Chromebooks, halted all warranty repairs on Chromebooks. They weren't really very informative as to why that was. We feel like it may have something to do with COVID, but again, they just said they're not able to do any repairs right now. So at the time of this report, we had over 40 units that needed to go back, and no way to repair them. So that's an unfortunate situation. And then we were looking into some software to push out to teachers that would give them the ability to remotely manage and engage with students. And by engage, we mean classroom and individual messaging. Teachers can talk to the students in a private way. They can see thumbnail views and monitor what the students are doing, both visually on the screen, see what they're looking at, excuse me, and also what web tabs and things that they have open. So we are beta testing that in December. As far as after we came back through December and the first part of our return, we purchased a piece of software called Google Meet Plus for administrators and teachers to give them some advanced features in their breakout, such as breakout rooms and some other things when working with their students remotely. We concluded the beta test of what is called the Land School Air program, and the support for that was pretty good. So we went ahead and purchased that for the district. We're going to be utilizing that in middle school and high school. And then as of the end of December, we still didn't have anything from Lenovo. Now, I don't have it in here, but it's worth mentioning that the first week that we came back in January, Lenovo did renew their service, warranty services. So we are actually able to send out devices now. So that's been great. The last I just sent out 54 devices out to them. That's 2 months worth of repairs and warranty issues. You know, and overall, I would say half of those are warranty and half of those are oopses. So it keeps us very busy, very busy. I think that kind of wraps up where we are for the last couple months. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
I have two. Just the Google Meet, is that an annual fee or is that a one-time fee? And is there obviously support for our staff with that purchasing like that extra?
It's a subscription if we choose to renew. We purchased it for a year. I think we used some COVID money for that. I don't see us using this a lot after this particular situation, but it depends on if we feel like that would really be beneficial to staff and students. I think, was that part? Did I answer all your questions, Kelly?
Yep, no, you answered that. I wanted to say thank you to Joe Kemp and your team. He was one of the staff appreciation for athletics. So on top of doing your normal duties and all your extra duties, he has been key help with some of our programs in the athletic with some of those digital stuff. So just really appreciate the extra help that you and your team are giving staff right now.
Great, thank you. I'll pass that on.
Phil, is the district paying for the monthly fee for those hotspots?
Yes.
Okay, probably with COVID money.
I'm not actually sure how that's happening.
Okay.
It was a need, and you know, when we talked about this before, especially with the board, I mentioned this, that we have a lot of people out there that don't have internet access, and unfortunately, these hotspots really don't solve the bigger problem that we just don't have access in a lot of areas of our community. Where we're really filling the need right now is with parents and families that may not necessarily have the means to have internet access. So this is something that we can offer right now. That's great. I don't know what our long-term sustainability will be.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Place.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Place. And then Tricia?
Yep. Good morning, board, or good evening, board members and community. I'm having trouble here staying connected. So if you, I've been kicked off 4 times now since we started. So if I lose you, I will join again. My report's really quick though. January is a busy month for us with W-2s, end of year, 1099. So we're currently working on that in my department. We also had to submit our consolidated application amendment. For those of you who are just hearing that term for the first time, the consolidated application is all of our title, which is our federal monies. So Title I, Title II, and Title IV. Title II is mainly PD. And what we do is pay for all the professional development staff and our administrators out of that Title II budget. And then anything that's left over, if there is anything left over, we carry that over to Title I. The majority of Title I is covers our interventionist and the couple of gals that work as the over with the English literacy coaches, elementary level. If you have any further questions regarding title stuff, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and I can go over those things with you. Happy to do that. So that amendment for this year was due by the 15th. So we submitted that on Friday. Tying up some grants that we got. We got a little over $6,000 from United Way, as many other districts in this area did back in the summer. So the final expenditure report for that is due this month. We also are, if you have heard, I know Troon put out a memo regarding the IRS 3%. Our district did pay FICA and the 3% healthcare money during the years of 2013, 14, 15, and 16. We have received refunds on 13, 15, and 16. We're still waiting on 14. So that's been a continuous effort in my department between myself and Laura for payroll. And what we're currently doing, what we've done is filed an appeal with the IRS, and then COVID hit. We refiled it again after COVID. I have a person that I'm working with in IRS, and they lost it in the appeals department. So then we had to refile it. So now I just received another name last week, and I have sent them all the literature from ORS and from Troon and from the Michigan Department of Ed regarding that statute and everything that's passing for that. So I'm hoping, she was supposed to call me yet this week so we can get that ironed out before the February 5th deadline. So you may have to make a motion on that if I don't get a resolution before all of that happens. So is there any questions on any of that from anyone?
Real quick, how much are we talking as far as the money involved here?
I'd have to look, Harvey, specifically at the 2014 year. They were ranging anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12,000. It just depends on the year, but I'm happy to get back with you on an exact figure.
Okay, thank you.
Just so you know, that money is district money as well as employee money. So we started this venture a couple years ago where we sent out letters to all of our employees who paid the FICA on that 3%. So I have letters signed from all those employees who have let us know that they wanted us to file for this money back for them. So as soon as I get 2014 handled and solidified and we get that check, then we will be giving all this money back to our employees as well. Now the district realized, the 3 years of revenue last year, but then we'll have the 1 year of our percent, the 7.65, which is our percentage of the FICA paid in this year.
Okay.
So it helps.
Very good. Yeah. Yep. Good. Thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? No. Thank you very much, and everybody have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. And Mark.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to see you here tonight. You should be seeing my screen pop up. Can you see my screen? It should say Extended COVID Learning Training Report.
Yep.
This is a report that's not in your agenda. It's one that we just compiled and had to post to the transparency webpage by Friday of last week. So I put it up Thursday evening, which is after the agenda went out. I just want to kind of talk through it a little bit. Each district in the state of Michigan had to put this report on their homepage, kind of dealing with the training, delivery, and access of virtual content to teachers, parents, and students. And so if you go to the transparency page, it's the second item down right underneath the COVID learning updates. But you can see that for teachers, what the district has done to provide training to help them for the COVID times. Over the summer, we wrote into the Title II grant some stipends for teachers to attend setting up effective distance learning at BRESA. It was done online, and so teachers went asynchronous, means it was kind of live or in person. It could have been online in person, and then asynchronous was they did some work offline, watching videos and things like that. And Buchanan had over 30 teachers, I think 39 teachers that started out, the most in the county. So that was great on our teachers' part, staff part, to participate in that PD through BRESA. We also, at the beginning of the school year, did some PD spread out the first 3 days there, dealing with Google Classroom, Google Meetings, and Screencastify. Screencastify is kind of how to create videos and so on. Phil Place did some for us. We had some in-house teachers that presented to our staffs, and we also had a person from the ISD come in and present on Google Classroom. And that was live. That was in person at the time when we could meet and so on. We also, you may recall, we did some remote practice days within the district. I think actually we were probably the first in the county to do that. The high school did one on 10/8. We kind of learned and picked up on that to where the elementary and middle school did a couple on the half days. So that was some kind of nice training for the teachers to work with their staff. One of the buildings did some virtual PD parent-teacher conferences. Asynchronous, again, is kind of not in person. You go watch videos and so on. We did weekly technology and remote teaching tips with some of our staff. And then Dr. Dunn created a video on how to do two-way communication in remote learning. So just a lot of stuff for our staff and so on. And I'm just so proud of how many teachers participated in the over the summer PD. For parents, if you go to our district website and go into our online resources, that's the link that will take you there. There's tons of videos and things like that that are ongoing. We also probably were one of the first in the county. Phil and Joe and so on have manned and continue to man our help desk. And so parents can get support with internet issues and so on. And you heard him talk about the T-Mobile grant that he and I wrote along with Trish. But again, I think that support's been very well important to the parents and so on. So they've done a nice job with that. Again, parents on those remote half days, we had our K-4 teachers did a lot of one-on-one support with their parents to start the year as they started out the year cold, being one-on-one at home and so on. And so the K-4 teachers did a lot of one-on-one helping parents and so on, talking to them on the phone, talking to them in Google Meets, trying to help their kids get on before school even started. They also went through, the parents had chances to practice with the teachers and with the kids on the remote practice days. And then you can see there's 4 videos there that were created that allow kind of the parents can watch them on their own. And those were emailed out to parents, most of them at the elementary level. For students, we made the decision even before the year started as a district that we were going to expect teachers or promote teachers working with Google Classroom and Google Meets in their classroom right when school started. That's why we had the training at the beginning of the school year, so that hopefully that would give the kids some practice and some hands-on. Probably not as much of a problem at the at the middle school and high school level, because they do that a lot already. But I think it was definitely brand new for the elementary teachers, the K-4 teachers. So just a lot of practice. And again, they used the remote days for the parents. So again, just the training that we put on for staff, parents, and teachers. And again, that report is posted on the district transparency page. Any questions as to that content and that another state requirement that we had to post because of COVID?
Are we doing anything now that we're back in person? Are they going to try to keep, I just know having a younger child, it was very hard to, if somebody wasn't sitting right next to them, that they needed that assistance. So are they going to try to keep educating for virtual? Does that make sense if we ever get back to that? Or say we had an outbreak again where we had to go back into remote learning? Is there any plans for continued education of the virtual education?
Oh, if we went back, if we all, go ahead, I'll let Trish answer.
Just as a kind of a big picture, futuristic type of thinking, Kelly, is that this virtual is not going to go away. So right. I think as the district moves forward, we'll have to have conversations about how to embed it in our regular normal school year. So do we have virtual days scheduled out from time to time so our students and our teachers can apply the process and strategies within a virtual format? So that is really kind of broad, big picture level of how we're going to continue to use virtual learning throughout. And I know we haven't gotten deep into a conversation, but also looking at other platforms of that would be adaptable or appropriate for development, appropriate for certain grade levels. So we are in the just kind of infancy stage of conversations about a developmentally appropriate platform for our younger students as well.
Yep. And I'm glad that it's on the back burner and it's always there. And like you said, that it's not going to go away, because I don't feel like it's going to go away. So that that answers my question, that at least it's in there or in the forefront of our future learning. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Will this affect funding as far as what we receive from the state, as far as our grant funding? Because that's always going to be the question. I know higher education is facing that. If we're using virtual, we're often, why pay this or that? They probably haven't talked about that, but what do you guys foresee about that? What do we have to plan for that, maybe, or think about?
So it would, if we're going to switch platforms, it would definitely be funding for that. Always training, and we know we have different funding revenues for training, so that could be embedded in that. So just off the top of my head, I'm thinking resources, the platforms that we might use, training, and then also equipment. Phil and we spoke earlier this year about, I don't even know if it was this year, I don't know when, time gets away from us, but talked about finding ways to maybe stream better. But then that requires a level of equipment that I know is very pricey. So we also have to think about that. And then the funding revenues that are available, we don't know. We know what we have in front of us. We don't know where the federal government is going to go with additional funding for us outside of what we know that, the government has approved so far. But we're just kind of in limbo stage about how to fund this continuously.
Okay. No, thanks. Mm-hmm.
I think, Kelly, to answer your question also, like Trish says, when you start getting into different platforms, Google Classroom, which honestly works real well for middle school and high school, probably a little tougher for elementary because, like you said, you have to have somebody buy them. That's free. When you start getting into the Schoology and different platforms like that, you're talking a pretty good chunk of change. Even other districts, I know a couple of districts around that are using Schoology and so on. You still have to have somebody buy them when they're at the elementary level. It makes it pretty tough for kindergarten, first grader, if there's not somebody sitting there. So just to kind of give you a little update. I'm going to switch. Are there any more questions as to the training that we provided and so on? All right, you should now see on your screen the COVID learning plan, the reconfirmation that we do every month, okay, which again is required. This is basically dealing with December 8th through January 8th, which was about 2 weeks before Christmas and the first week after. For whatever reason, the state doesn't really want to go at the end of the month like they were. So we just kind of answer the questions as we go. So was there any change in mode of instruction? Yep. We came back. We still had in person. We had fully in person. We brought the high school back or the middle school back and so on. We still were doing kids at home because we have the K4. We are not doing a hybrid. But again, you can see that we had a lot of our kids in person during the month, during that time frame. Really, the only people that we didn't have in person at that time was the K4 kids. Again, why are people making those decisions? We had health concerns, we had certain grade levels, and then depending on which school the student was assigned to, that really doesn't change too often. We had about 26% or so were fully remote, okay? And then we kind of talk about where our kids were that were doing synchronous in person, okay? Most of the time it was 24% or less, all right? And then as Phil was talking about, in November, we gave out tons of hotspots. I went back to his little chart that he shares with me and kind of picked out that we kind of gave out a few at first grade and fifth grade and 10th grade. So not a lot, maybe I think 5 that in the month of December, January at the end there. One of the big things that's been real popular when we are and remote time is the high school. We talked about this before. High school does that internet lab where the kids can come in and work in the lab itself on the computers, and or they get support from Brian Pearson and Donna Southwell. So that's gone over well. I know Mr. Pruitt and I talk each month about how they're making phone calls and they get a hold of parents and say, hey, your kid's not doing anything. They need to come in, and the parents are pretty good about making them get in there. So that's been helpful. Had special ed kids in there, EL kids in there, CTE kids in there working in the labs, in one of the 2 labs. So that's been very popular, very helpful. And then just, what special populations are we working with? We pretty much hit all of them this month in one time or another. So just so that we're showing support for those kids that are at risk, economically disadvantaged, struggling learners, EL learners, and SPED kids. Whether it's working with them one-on-one in small groups and large groups, again, most of them be it online and or in person, depending on what building. So that's our updated January report, which really goes through just January 8th. So I think Trish and I can both attest to the fact that we are happy to be back in school. Teachers are excited. I think kids are excited. So we hope to stay in for the foreseeable future. Trish, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, what questions might you have, anyone, regarding this? Yep, and we are excited. Our kids are definitely excited about being in school. I can attest for my kids, they may not act excited, but they're excited. I'm excited for them. So thank you, Mark, for the presentation and the work you've done on this.
Very good. Thank you very much. All right, moving right along here. I think that takes care of our presentations. All right. All right, going on to item G, community dialogue, citizens' concerns. And Michelle, do you see anything there? Can't see anything.
Nope, there's none.
Okay, none? Okay, very good. Moving on to item H, adoption of the consent agenda. And before you make that motion, just a clarification there. There was in that consent agenda there, Mrs. Robinson, for Daryl Miller, is that going to be correct in there, or does that need to be amended when somebody
that needs to be approved?
Okay, so that does
everything. Yes, everything is being decided based off of that.
Okay.
Contract,
okay.
That updated contract.
Okay, very good. I just wanted to make sure of that. Okay, good. All right, can we have a motion then to adopt the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion that the consent agenda for the regular board meeting of January 18th, 2021 be adopted as written. Included in the agenda are minutes from 3 December board meetings.
Chris,
Yes.
your microphone's rubbing on your cheek and it's hard to hear you. There you
Sorry.
go. It's okay.
Included are minutes from 3 December board meetings, warrants and expenditure reports from December, updated employment contracts for 2020-2021 for Alan Burgett, utility maintenance, Chad Van Beek, utility maintenance, Daryl Miller, facilities supervisor, Laura Morris, payroll coordinator, Lindsay Miller, accounting specialist, BVA coordinator, Michelle Munyon, executive administration assistant to the superintendent and the board, and Rebecca Hargraves, operations utility staff. Number 4, recommendations to hire as submitted by Mrs. Dennison, Dr. Dunn, and Mr. Miller for Lucy Burrow, Kid Care Director, and Joshua Malmstrom, operations student utility staff. 5, reconfirmation of Buchanan Community Schools extended COVID-19 learning plan. And 6, resignation of Aaron Kratke as the varsity tennis coach.
Approve.
All right, Mrs. Robinson, anything to add to the consent agenda?
Just welcome to all of our new hires. And I just want to thank Mrs. Cracky for her service while she was coach. And so we'll be looking for another coach. That's it.
Okay, very good. Any questions or comments from board members?
For the hire for Lucy Burrow, congratulations for the Kid Care Director. But in their recommendation for hire, because that's a LARA position for the License of Regulatory Affairs, there are some stipulations to that, correct? Does she have to? I guess my question would be is if they could have put that on there just to make sure, because the requirements are pretty extensive. So I'm sure they went through them with her, but I just wanted to make sure that was clarified.
Yes, and that was headed by I don't know,
Dr. Dunn and
Dunn
Dennison.
and Mrs. Dennison. Yes, yes.
All right. Roll call.
And I will get to it. That second page messes me up. All right, Mr. Lee,
Yes.
Miss Berry,
Yes.
Mr. Carlson,
Yes.
Miss Lesh, yes, Dr. Carlin,
Yes.
Miss Ryder,
Yes.
and Dr. Burnett.
Yes,
7 yeses, motion has been approved.
very good. Moving on to item I1, recommended action, BVA graduation certification. May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion that upon satisfactory completion of district requirements for high school graduation, the Board of Education hereby approves the Buchanan Virtual Academy students, Danielle Thompson and Kaylin Perry Hertzler.
Support.
All right. Mrs. Robinson.
So I do want to extend my congratulations to Danielle Thompson and Kaylin Perry Hertzler for their perseverance through this. We know that Virtual Academy is a self-paced program, and it takes a lot of perseverance and dedication to follow at your own pace and keep going to finish the program. So once again, I want to congratulate them, and I wish them the best of luck, and we'll probably see them in the graduation services at the end of the school year.
Very good. Any questions or comments from board members? All right, roll call.
Mr. Lee,
Yes.
Miss Berry,
Yes.
Mr. Carlson,
Yes.
Miss Lesh, yes, Dr. Carlin,
Yes.
Miss Ryder,
Yes.
and Dr. Burnett.
Yes. All right, moving
7
on.
yeses, motion adopted.
Okay. Oh, man. Item I2, letter of agreements for the COVID-19 leave. May we have a motion, please?
I move the Buchanan Community School Board of Education approves the attached letters of agreement for the following bargaining units. Buchanan Education Association, Buchanan Association of Administrative and Media Assistants, Buchanan Association of Classroom Paraprofessionals, Healthcare Paraprofessionals, and Band Paraprofessionals, and finally, Buchanan Transportation Association. Support.
All right, Mrs. Robinson.
So this is an extension of the FFCRA paid leave time during COVID time. So we all know that it ended December 31st without an extension for public entities. So we wanted to be able to provide an extension of that, and this is our version of that extension. So still, our staff members who have not maxed out those 10 days or those 80 hours will still have an opportunity to utilize these 6 days if they have a COVID-related illness. So we have the letter of agreements attached along with everyone who has signed them.
All right, very good. Any question or comments from board members? All right, roll call.
Mr. Lee,
Yes.
Miss Berry,
Yes.
Mr. Carlson,
Abstain due to my wife's employment.
Thank you. Ms. Lesh, yes. Dr. Carlin?
Yes.
Ms. Ryder?
Yes.
Dr. Burnett?
Yes.
6 yeses, 1 abstain, and motion has been adopted.
Very good. All right, moving on to item J, information and reports and new business. Mrs. Robinson, do we have any? I don't see anything listed there.
No, I just have a couple of verbal announcements. So I do want to make it clear also with the agreements that you just approved with the letter of agreements. I needed the letter of agreements for the bargaining units, but the extension does cover all of our employees in our district. So I just want to make sure that was known. Nobody is going to be left out of this. A couple of announcements. Monday, January the 26th, I believe, or the 25th, whatever Monday is, we'll have our community forum. And we have invited people from our community, people who were a part of the strategic planning team last year to participate. We had a deadline for people to register and sign up, which was today. We closed the window. And when I looked at it earlier, we had about 38 participants signed up. So we're looking for input from our families and our community on action steps that we can use under those 5 big areas for our strategic plan. So that is next week, Monday, the 25th. And then also on February the 11th, I have a new parent advisory committee. We have a lot of parents who were involved last year. And in addition, some new families, we were looking at creating a diverse group. So we have groups of parents, we have dads, we have moms on this group. We have people from diverse races on this group. So I'm excited about our first meeting, February 11th. The last announcement I have, I do want to just take a moment to say thank you, board. This is Board Recognition Month. Our school board is extremely important in our communities as you govern our districts and make sure that our students have what they need to be successful. You are their #1 advocates. And we also know that you give tireless amounts of your time, you're free to help with this endeavor. So I want to thank you just personally, and then also thank you from the district. So each of you will receive a notebook that is, I know you probably can't see it, that is personalized. It has your names on it. It has Buchanan Community Schools. This is Dr. Harvey Burnett, and there's a notepad inside. We just want to make sure that we gave you a small token of appreciation for what you do. We can never pay you. We can never pay you for what you do. You are sitting in that seat and making hard decisions. So just wanted to take this moment and to recognize your work in this community, in the district. So thank you. So those are all of my announcements.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, for the rest of the board, we greatly appreciate all that you do and the time that you put in. This is one of those jobs that sometimes is a lot of work and sometimes is thankless at times. But, you all do a very excellent job. And I know I greatly appreciate all the work that you've done and continue to do to make our district a success, not only the county, but also within the state. So keep up the good work there. All right, moving on. Yeah.
Harvey, this is Katie. I'm going to steal a little bit more time from everyone because when Chris said that he was abstaining, it made me realize that there is a component of the BEA contract in that, and I need to abstain from that as well because my sibling is an employee. Okay. So I apologize. I seconded the motion, and I'm going to take that back if that's possible to do.
Well, I guess we can accommodate that.
You can second it, and then I'll just put you as an abstain.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay.
Sounds great.
All right. We've got that corrected there.
Yep.
Mrs. Lesh. Okay.
Yes, I got it corrected. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Really appreciate it. All right. Moving on. Question, comments from board members?
I have one quick question about the parent advisory. In the past, we had 1 or 2 or I think maybe 3 board members. Do you still want board members involved, Trish?
I do. I'm going to ask if I could have the first meeting with the parents on my own, and then I can have the board members come. I think there were 2 of you who I think Mrs. Berry asked last week, and then maybe Ruth. I don't know. You guys can decide.
We used
I would
to
like
rotate, but whatever you want is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And did you want us to attend the January 25th? I know I've seen it, but we always get all the information. So I just want to make sure.
Because I saw that it was a board member. It looks like a board member signed up. So I couldn't get into the names, but we had them to kind of identify what group they would be in. So, but yes, the 25th one, yes, please do come.
Okay. Very good. Any other comments or questions for board members?
I just wanted to take a second to mention that a past board member, Ray Weinberg, passed away the first of the year, and we just want to send our condolences to the family. He was a board member and president around the late 80s, and then he was also on the farm board. So we just want to, the board wants to send our condolences to the family.
Thank you very much there, Mrs. Lesh, for doing that.
Yep.
Okay.
I have a question regarding the Buck Staff Appreciation Program. Is that something that's been going for a while now? And is it any stakeholder can nominate anybody to that process? And is it, and who collects those submissions?
So, and I only have what I have for this school year. So I know you guys, the other board members, have the background and the history. So who collects the submissions is Michelle Munyon. So you can submit them to her. We have, due to it is Buck Staff Appreciation. So anyone outside of the community and within the district can nominate a staff member.
So board members can nominate people as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. Michelle, you got to do a better job of rigging the drawing next time. I didn't know you were the one that collecting them. I was already going to say that you were robbed. Not to take anything away from Mrs. Jeffries by any stretch, but next time you're nominated, Michelle, have a special guest come in and draw for you, and we'll make sure that you're sufficiently recognized.
Okay.
We'll be all above board, I promise.
There is a Google form on our school website. It's Buck Staff Appreciation, and that's how you make a nomination.
Okay.
Through that form.
Very cool.
Very good. And I second Dr. Carlin there. Michelle has done an awesome job. She continues to do an awesome job. Keeps me, I know, keeps me now straight with making the right signature thing, because
she keeps us in line and makes us look good, for sure.
Yes, she does. So thank you very much. All right. With that, our next board meeting is going to be February 16th, Tuesday at 6. And I think that's after Valentine's, isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just remember that if you guys need to do Valentine's stuff, everything like that. So with that, we will, at that particular time, I'm not sure if we're going to be virtual or not, but we will have further information at that time to tell us what we will be doing. With that said, the meeting is adjourned.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Have a good night.
You too.
Have a good night.